Hello, we are here. We're doing it again at Snowmass, Colorado. Today I'm going to talk about butters. I wanted to break my boots in, so I figured I'd come and make a little butter tutorial, nose press, tail press. Super good to break in your boots early season. You're going to want to find a blue-green run and mostly flat. Micah McGinnity taught me this years ago, that before you do butters and nose presses and tail presses on rails, you learn them on the ground and get really good on the ground on them and then take them to the rails. But before we get into too much detail, I'll go back to the origins of the butter, and they were invented by two dudes by the name of Mike Ranquet and Chris Roach, I believe. They were just kind of taking skateboard style nose blunts, nose slides onto snow. And Tex Davenport, I believe, was the one who coined it, laughing at him, being like, you guys look like your butter and your muffin. Kind of making fun of them because they were the Mount Baker hardcores. At least Ranquet and Tex were. Roach was more Tahoe, Grasser style, I believe, but they were all friends. So those were the kind of the origins. And then they went from there all the way to like Aaron Vincent, Noah Selaznick going to Alaska and doing nose butters off of cornices, nose butter 270s, pretty amazing. And then Travis Parker kind of taking it into a more entertaining style with flipping off of cornices. And then, yeah, as well as, like I said, Micah kind of told me that you do them on the ground. But if you want a real cool story, it's J.P. Walker who did the first, in my opinion, legitimate nose press on a street rail in a town called Bountiful, I believe, in Utah. The Bountiful Rail, a classic rail that is no longer there, unfortunately. Yeah, the North Shore of jibbing and snowboarding in general is, you could say, Utah. So anyways, to get back to butters, the first thing you want to do is learn tail presses and nose presses, and that's just kind of like leaning forward and leaning backwards. You can do that while riding. You don't actually have to jump into it. You just kind of lean back and lift your nose up and lean forward and push your nose down. I really like to have a camber board when I do this because that leverage you're going to get is going to be energy, and it's going to feel good and fun. If you have a banana board or some sort of a rocker camber board, it's easier, but the feeling isn't there, so I'm not really a fan of it. This is the Chris Roach Master Series board I'm riding. It has actually carbon X's right in front and behind the bindings built for nose pressing. You know, the originator of the nose press, 30 plus years later came out and it has a butter board. And that's also good for, your nose and tail not folding when you're hitting big jumps and just kind of cruising around the mountain. But this board's awesome. It's a micro camber board with an early rise nose and tail, and with those carbon X's, it just makes for buttering fun and energetic. So yeah, once you learn that, nose press, tail press, that's just going straight down the hill. And like I said, you want to find a green run. You don't want to get going too fast. You want to find the mellowest run you can on the hill and just barely get speed. If you've ever seen a documentary on YouTube called Slow Motion, I believe, it's about going as slow as you can, and getting that energy. But once you learn that, you want to learn how to ollie into them. So I'll do another trick tip on ollies later, but you want to ollie into it, lay into the nose press, or you can nollie and then lay into the tail press, which makes it a little easier. And then what is considered good style or good execution, if you're an X Games coach or whatever, you don't judge style, you judge execution, is to pop out of your trick. You want to ollie or nollie out of your tail press or nose press to make it look good. If you just let go of it and drop it, then that's considered bad execution, poor execution or bad style. And then to get into the nose press, the butter, this is like a nose press but sideways down the hill, thinking of a knife, just kind of buttering the hill, like a butter knife, but turning that into your actual snowboard. And you want to get really good at side slipping, and if you want to get really good at side slipping, go follow Ryan Napton on YouTube. He is the king side slipper. He's got stickers where he's like this, side slipping. He'll be side slipping all over Peak 8 in Breckenridge. So yeah, you want to learn how to side slip really, really good, toes and heels. And then as you're side slipping, you want to take that nose press, and if you're on your heels looking downhill, you want to take that nose press on your nose and heel side edge and leverage it and balance it. And then if you want to do a tail press or a tail butter, you do the same thing on your tail. And then you can also do it looking uphill on your toes. Like, I'm not going to have a video of this, but just imagine looking uphill on your toes and leaning onto your nose, leaning on your tail. These are all super fun butters to just learn, and basic things to do at the beginning of the year to get your board underneath you. And you know, you want to like be ready so mid-season you don't even think about it and your gear's just working and everything's just on point. So those are just a couple quick little tips I'm going to give you on how to do nose butters and tail butters, and then you can take them into a mini pipe, onto a quarter pipe, jump up onto the deck, press. I actually ate it pretty good and tapped, but I almost got one on the quarter pipe here at Snowmass. Super fun. It's like a quarter bank, I guess. It doesn't quite go to vert, so it's super easy to get up on the deck, which is fun. I saw a skier jump the whole deck earlier today. And yeah, so nose butters, tail butters, front side nose butters, front side tail butters, tail presses, nose presses. Go watch JP Walker, Micah McGinnity, Chris Roach. Go watch old Mike Ranquet movies to watch those dudes. I think he did some in RPM too. He's done trick tips back when magazines did trick tips and photographers took sequences, but that was just a long time ago, and it's all about the future and AI, things like that. So we're gonna try to launch into the future here and do some more nose butters and tail butters and enjoy our day. I hope you enjoyed that long talk. I will quit rambling, and I hope you enjoyed the little history on buttering, because I really enjoy snowboarding history. I really like to know what I am doing and where it came from. It makes it feel better, and it just makes me feel like I'm more part of the sport or art form of snowboarding, whatever you want to call it. I call it both. There's the athlete and the artist. I wrote an article in the old Snowboard Colorado magazine back when they had magazines again. I'll leave it at that. All right, see you on the next one.